Oh, anything in particular you wanted to talk about?
Um, Not really. Just because the stuff I'd talk about, because of course, as we know, the NBA is getting ready to start back up. The WNBA is as well. Um, I'm looking. I think I mentioned to you last week. Um, we were just talking that I'm looking forward to seeing Izzy Madripoor play
Oh yeah.
because when I got to see her in international play, she looked like she'd probably end up being really good. Um, but outside of that, all I really had to talk about is what I think of various high school players from watching a lot of basketball this weekend.
So
Um,
I'm also gonna be very transparent with you guys. Um, I did a technology free weekend, so all news that happened over the past 2 days is breaking news to me. So enjoy that. Do with that with you will.
yeah. I mean, as far as I know, there's not a whole lot that you don't know that's worth talking about.
I mean, this was the first time that zero NBA players uh, tested positive for COVID, so the bubble's working.
But like, didn't a couple of them already test positive in the bubble?
I don't think anybody in the bubble tested positive, and if they did, we will see it in the 30/30 documentary that will inevitably come out. But until then, I think we gotta just hope. Because
Okay.
I think I think Russell Westbrook tested positive, but I don't think he was down in Orlando yet.
Okay.
I have no idea if Jokic is down there yet. I remember like hearing a few weeks ago he did is allowed to come back in, but I do not know if that's another 2 week quarantine, and if so, I do not know if it's been 2 weeks.
Okay.
We're talking not basketball. We're talking about not basketball. Yeah.
I'm upset.
Why are you upset?
I'm upset to just stumble into you singing that atrocity.
I don't know what you're talking about. I personally think it's a masterpiece.
I knew I could never take your music critique seriously. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. Now this is confirmation.
Well, hi, Philip. How are you doing today?
Bro,
I don't actually care. That's what a normal person sounds like when they pop into a conversation with people. They say nice things first.
what's wrong with you?
I'm
Like, I
moody.
really think something's up with you. What's wrong? You good?
I know. I feel like being moody. I'm being a little extra right now. You good?
You're being moody.
Oh, Philip. By the way, letting you know, we're doing things different on the Traveling Hoopers podcast. Uh, in season 3, we're actually going to use the video from this, so we're going to show our faces now. So I can see your face. I can see the taco meat on your face. Don't shine the light directly into the camera.
Make sure it's.
Oh no, the lighting was perfect.
Is that better?
Yeah, it's the chest hair and the armpit. That's oh.
Hey, let's go. I just came from the gym. I'm feeling
definitely
good.
not.
I came from the gym. I'm feeling good at the level. No, I mean, I'm feeling good. No? Okay, let me cover myself up then with this Kansas Jayhawk blanket. Sorry.
Well, since everybody's here, welcome to the Travel Hoopers. I am your host, Alan Pettigrew. These two knuckleheads will introduce themselves.
Wait, what order do we do this? Whatever. Sup, y'all? Calvin McGowan, and I probably watched too much basketball this weekend.
What's going on? I'm P Dizzle. Everybody calls me Philip though, and I probably didn't watch enough basketball this weekend because I've been watching too much basketball over quarantine. So I've like gone through the history of basketball and one mixtape, hoop mixtape, and Ball is Life. So I'm just waiting on some new content to come out.
Hey, can you explain to me what happened to Hoop Mixtape?
Uh, their infrastructure wasn't as so they were groundbreaking, but their infrastructure wasn't as organized and widespread as Ball is Life. So like if you look back at Hoop Mixtape back in the day, right? They would be at specific tournaments. And really, Hoop Mixtape's just like a couple guys. They'd be at specific tournaments. A lot of their early guys were the biggest cities, right? It'd be a lot of like Brandon Jennings was big off Hoop Mixtape. Derrick Rose big off Hoop Mixtape. But like those guys were like from certain areas, Chicago, New York, that type of area, right? LA, that kind of stuff. But then Ball is Life came around, Ball is Life essentially did what Instagram did to Snapchat, right? So Instagram just took the story format from Snapchat and just expanded on it. Ball is Life did that exact same thing to Hoop Mixtape. So instead of just being in like the bigger cities, all of a sudden they're in Dallas, San Antonio. They're like all over. So they just expanded the formats or the groundbreaking formats, I would say, that Hoop Mixtape came out with. Because Hoop Mixtape, their run really wasn't that long. Like if you really think about it, the run was Ball is Life is on like a decade-long run now at this point.
Decade plus.
Yeah.
Are you talking about being like number one, or are you talking about just like a content?
I'm talking about not just existing, but like being like the go-to mixtape, individual for college hoopers. So like, I don't know about you, but I got put on Hoop Mixtape because of Brandon Jennings, and that was like 07, 08. And then Derrick Rose, and that was like 08, 07 also. And all that like generation put me on to Hoop Mixtape. All of a sudden, when I got to college, it was 2012. For sure, it was Ball is Life. Because I remember when Andrew Wiggins was Ball is Life, that's 13. Ben McLemore was Ball is Life, that was 2011, 2012. So like Ball is Life, and then Akil Carr, that was Ball is Life too. So like, and Akil Carr, that came out when I was 2010. Yeah, that came out like 2010, 11, 10. So that for sure was when Ball is Life like became established as like the go-to mixtape for high school hoopers. Who Mixtape probably had like 3-year run.
Yeah, because that was your timeline is about right. Because I remember being in like marketing class in like 2010. Yeah. And, like in the back, and it was just me and Levi. We just watched Ball is Life. That's when like Ball is Life, like when they did their like specific channels. Yeah. Where it's like Ball is Life East, Ball is Life South. Like all I would do was like watch Ball is Life South videos, and that was like from like 2010. And then I remember like looking back like years later, being like, why is this not on Ball is Life? And then being like, Hoop Mixtape. Like you only had like they only had like 4 or 5 videos that I fully remember.
See, I remember.
I'd just be like, because I'm 2 years younger than you.
Yeah, because it was easy for me. Well, the timeline is easy for me because I graduated high school, so 12th grade in 2012. So whatever year it was, what grade I was in. And I was like traveling around, playing AAU. I was like engulfed in the culture at the time. So whatever, and I can like remember what tournaments I was in. I can remember, what grade I was in, what class I was watching, just like you said, where I was watching, what videos, all kind of stuff. So I can remember that whatever grade I was in was what year it was. So I mean, there in like I remember Hoop Mixtape had a lot of people that didn't go on to do big things. So like they were big in high school, and because Hoop Mixtape, there was what was his name? I can't remember off the top of my head, but he ended up going to Baylor, and then he went to he transferred from Baylor, and then went to University of Missouri. But he was out of North Carolina. Deuce Bello. He had so much bounce. If you watch Deuce Bellows Hoop Mixtape right now, it's possibly the best Hoop Mixtape or Ball is Life mixtape that you will see. Like it was incredible. But it turned out he just had bounce. He didn't have skill. So all of a sudden when he got to college, you couldn't. He didn't do nothing. You know what I mean? He got to college. All of a sudden he got no clock. You know what I mean? Then all of a sudden he got transferred from school to school to school to school. Now he's playing overseas. No one heard of him anymore. But I remember his Hoop Mixtape was like big time, and that was 2010. So right around that same timeline is what we're saying, right? All of a sudden, Ball's Life came in and said, "Whoop, let's get it." All of a sudden, Ball's Life got the first of all these mixtapes be the best. The little soundtracks, little Chipmunk 2003 Kanye samples, like they really be fire to get. Like I don't know. Then whoever does the editing for Hoop Mixtape and Ball is Life needs to have a scholarship. Needs to be able to teach a master class somewhere.
I'm like big high school basketball fan. So Ball is Life has like a podcast, and they have like two, like not scouts, but like they're two like big time journalists down there in like Southern California, and like all they do is talk about basketball. And they had one of the founders of Ball is Life, Otic, and he like told like how all of this happened. It's like all there, bro. It's a really good listen. It's probably like
my whole thing is, do I really want to listen to the Ball is Life people talk? I'm not quite sure if I do.
Okay, if you just want to know what they did, like what he did for all of it to work, and like some of the things he ran into, yes, it is a good listen.
That makes sense. If you want to like find out how they started from the ground up as a company, as infrastructure, then I kind of understand that. But I don't know how other basketball takes good. What's the ranking system that's like most adequate now for high schoolers? That's not ESPN. Is it still Max Prep?
No, 24/7.
It's not Max Prep anymore.
They got the composite ranking, so that's like everybody's.
Okay, so when it comes to people who actually hooping, I listen to them, right? But when it comes to some highlights and like how to build like establish a culture, which is what Mixtapes did, established a true high school culture, then I thought I'd talk to them about that kind of stuff. But I'm not sure how much they actually know about basketball.
All right, so it's not like the Ball is Life team gives like a podcast. Like each one of their like podcasts that they have like in their network, it's like specific things. Like they got like one that tells stories. They got one that like takes you back to like specific big game moments. And that one is all about like scouting. Like scouting in high school basketball. So like I enjoy listening to them because they have good opinions, and like one of the dudes has been doing this for like 20 plus years. So and I've met him in person because I do this. So like they're cool. It's just a hard listen. Like they need like somebody else to edit the podcast or have like a host. It's
gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Calvin, how about you? Do you have any specific memories of Ball is Life and or Hoop Mixtape?
Honestly, not really. I just didn't look at them like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do you not have so like right now, do you not have a favorite?
What between the two?
No, between, like your favorite mixtape to watch growing up or like as of right now.
Nah. I can't say that I do.
These are what?
Your favorite mixtape? My
favorite, a Kill Car.
Really? Crime Stopper. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It's not even close as my favorite of all
I never got the hype of little people playing basketball.
Like, I'm gonna tell you why. He was 5'5", 5'6" if we being nice. And the 6'8" dude tried to dunk and he blocked it with his chest. That's not normal. And for you to do that at 5'5" to block a shot with your chest, where you grab the ball, and the dude is like 6'8", that's legendary. He was so fast. He was entertaining to watch. Like that amount of speed at that height, that just kind of like translate. That was like Kentucky offered him, and at the time, that's when Kentucky offering you meant a ton. Like it still means a ton, but you were like, oh, you going to Kentucky? Okay, cool. That's like what, 2013? Like,
see, my time is so two things. One, before I forget, now that I'm thinking about it, there was a specific event that really put mixtape companies over the top. There's been layers and tiers, right? Like there's been like the most specific events that put them over the top. The most recent event that really put them up to another level was the 2011 lockout. When that lockout happened and everybody was, hooping at these random gyms around the country, the Ball is Life, the Hoop mixtapes, the off-brand Aldi type mixtape companies and websites, they took that footage and ran with it. Like that was the most, because like before then you had you had the And One mixtapes, and you had in different individuals who put the bar up when it came to mixtapes. But the 2011 lockout season, that was the one for our generation that really put it over the top, guaranteed. Because I remember ESPN wasn't having Kobe, hitting that game winner, dropping whatever number he did on in that little gym against James Harden and them. You over here seeing LeBron playing KD with Chris Paul on the team. You know what I mean? Like that's the stuff he was watching. In the mixtape websites or the mixtape, I guess YouTube channels were the ones that had that footage, right? And ESPN was trying to cop that footage, right? And it was that's impressive. But also, before that though, I want to get to this. I mentioned that before I forgot. But I say I'm not infatuated by Kill Car. But for some reason, I remember where I was when I first watched a Kill Car's mixtape. Like, I remember the spot I was sitting in. It was at a laundromat in Las Vegas because I was there for the Adidas Super 64, and I remember sitting in this, I don't know what do you call it, like a booth, and people, my teammates were like, "Oh man, look at a Kill Car." I'm like, "A Kill Car," and I remember watching him and be like, "Oh, he nice," but I don't, but like. The little person playing basketball thing never really captured me. It never captured me, Nate Robinson. And I don't know, it just never did.
It's because you're 6'5" and you've probably always been taller than the rest of us. So you don't understand, I don't know. That's the closest we get to equality when it happens. Do you not understand? That's the closest we get to genetic equality. Do you not understand how gifted that is? Do you not understand how gifted a Kill Car has to be to do what he does? It's not like he was doing that against scrubs. Like he was at a powerhouse school in Baltimore, dominating. Like come on, yo, that is crazy. At 5'5", name another basketball player that you know who's 5'5" making varsity.
I get it. Like he little and good. Like I get the fact he good, obviously. Or he was good. I get the fact that he a little man. Like, cool. But, like, for some reason, little people playing basketball, I was never a big Muggsy Bogues fan. Never a big Nate Robinson fan. Never big a Kill Car guy. I'm not even the best. Like, my favorite player to come out of Baltimore, besides, like, or a Baltimore that, like, was a mixtape legend, is Josh Selby. Josh Selby mixtape was nasty. Like, when he came.
I didn't like that.
When he came to KU, people was hyped. Like, people were hyped. Then he had, like, some kind of recruitment issue where he couldn't play. But, like, he couldn't play for the first, like, 10, 11 games, something like that, for a significant amount. And then he came in, he was balling. And then the lockout happened a little bit after that. He was killing the lockouts, too. Because you can go in there right now. and he played in a game against Brandon Jennings. And you know, Brandon Jennings is a street ball. He like a guy in the NBA who was like cool in the NBA, but then we put him on the rec team. He goes on murder. He Michael Beasley. It was him versus Josh Selby going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Even it was during the lockout season, and that was amazing to watch. And Josh Selby, in my opinion, was a more exciting player than Akil Carr.
I'll let you have that. I think there are like ones that if we watching the video, like Jahi Carson, his was very entertaining, but another dude that you probably don't like, he was 5'10". He was dunking everybody.
I mean, that's fine. Look, and I appreciate the fact that they're not pulling a. Okay, he is good generally, but his high school highlights, his being Zion Williams, was against little white kids. Like
kids.
He was good. Like Zion is very good. I'm not gonna say generational type talent because he's pretty much Blake Griffin, but like he is generational type. He's really, 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 really good. I gotta see him more than less than half a season. Like I'm not gonna lie to you, but he's really good. But in high school, he was over here slapping the backboard against these 5'3" white kids who, you know, he got one white kid famous for being hyped up to guard him. Like, what? You playing against these kind of guys? Yeah, people in Baltimore, people in Kansas City, people in Dallas, people in Memphis, they all playing against, like, top-tier, you know, high school players. Dude. And Zion over here playing in the sticks of South Carolina, you know what I mean? Like, he over here playing, like, so no one care about the people he play. But he ended up good, but that usually doesn't happen. That usually doesn't happen at all.
I mean, didn't South Carolina also give us Ja Morant? So, like, you get good folks out there occasionally.
2 players in how many years?
Look, are we talking about NBA players? Because I think Thornwell, I can't think of his first name. It starts with a K. He's from South Carolina. He in the league too. He's not a dude, but who is?
He's not a dude. Listen, we said we got 2 people from South Carolina, right? And the 2 people we named from South Carolina came out the exact same year. Who came up before them? Like South Carolina, they just over here dribbling in dirt roads. You know what I mean? Like, who is from South Carolina in the NBA? Like, that's the question we need to find out because we already got Ja, and Ja's nasty. He's nasty. He's gonna be Rookie of the Year. He should be Rookie of the Year. Zion's gonna be nasty. He should not be Rookie of the Year, but if he would play the entire season, he should have been Rookie of the Year, right? But I need to know who else is from South Carolina, though.
Let's see.
All right, I pulled up the list. There are 44 players, and it's like 8 of them are active. We got Sindarius Thornwell that came in 2018. Ja Morant.
Yeah.
Chris Middleton.
Okay.
2013.
Okay.
Raymond Felton, 2006.
Raymond Felton built like he eat too much barbecue. You're right. He looked like he came from South Carolina.
It's okay. I flamed him earlier.
Okay, good.
Jawad Evans, 2018. PJ Dozier, 2018. You might have something right with these like certain years because they come out in clumps, yo. Torrey Craig in 2018. Nicholas Claxton, 2020.
Oh, that's a trash last name. I'm sorry. Claxton?
Oh, Speedy Claxton. Come on, bro. That's a good name. It's not all.
Continue.
Jarrell Brantley.
Oh, so we're getting to people we really know who they are. I got you.
That's all the active players.
You struggled with that last one too.
I didn't know what it's the letters all small.
Who is cool? he get a smaller font because he'll nobody. Okay, that's more than I thought, but that's still not a lot. That's 3 people that are like notable: Zion,
right.
Ja, Chris Middleton.
Do you want names? Like, how far do you want names? because there's some names here.
I think active is the most important, right? Because like if you go back to the history of the league, because if you go to the history of the league, then you got to start going to like ABA and like who was in the ABA, and it gets all weird.
They have Basketball Reference has 44 players from South Carolina, so it's not a lot of big names, but there's players you've heard of, and you will get through the list very fast.
Let's QC about Kansas City in comparison. Look about Kansas City, and then let's look about Kansas City. Then let's look at Memphis, because Memphis is gonna have too many, I guarantee it. But let's have some comparison between South Carolina and other places. So actually, I don't know if you can do Kansas City. It's a whole state. So do Missouri. Yeah. Do Missouri.
All right.
Yeah. And then Memphis after that, because like Memphis is gonna or Tennessee after that, because Tennessee's gonna have stupid numbers. I'm not gonna lie to you. From Memphis alone, got 45. Yeah, Memphis got 45. Nashville probably got 3. Chattanooga probably got 1.
All right. Missouri got 68. Get at us.
Hey, that's really close to 69.
Better than. Oh, okay. So we're not too far off from Tennessee. They got 94.
Okay. So who are the most notable from both of those?
Okay, I'll give you the active players from Tennessee. Jordan Bone, who was drafted in 2020 or whatever in 2020. He's only played 10 games.
Okay.
Corey Brewer, 2008. Chris Chioza, 2019. Ian Clark, 2014. Antonius Cleveland. Got to do better. 2018. John Jenkins, 2013. Jamario, 2019.
Jeremiah Martin, 2020. Garrison Matthews, 2020. Jody Meeks, 2010.
Jody Meeks.
Cameron Payne,
2016. JJ Redick, 07.
Wait, JJ Redick's from Nashville?
He is.
Oh, JJ Redick was from New York.
Cookeville. Mm-hmm. Well, this is just like where they were born.
Oh, okay.
Because I think he grew up in the sticks in North Carolina, I believe, something like that, right? JJ Redick.
No, JJ Redick went to high school in New York.
Really?
Yeah, I've heard stories of people playing him in New York. He went to high school in New York. It's like a prep school in New York.
Okay. I just remember
active Tennessee has how many?
Active.
Oh, we didn't finish the list, by the way.
I know, but you started naming people I didn't know. So I was like, I feel like Charles Barkley, and is he in the league? Like, what team does he play for? I was like, whoa.
So, last 2 names, Jonathan Williams in 2019, Lou Will in 2006.
Okay, Lou Will. Okay, what about Missouri now?
All right, let's see. So, active, we got some names.
I know we do.
So we got Brad Bill, 2013.
Yeah.
Alec Burks, 2012. Grandview's Pride.
Yeah.
Tyler Cook, 2020.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta look at that dude. I don't know who that is. Shaquille Harrison, 2018.
Yeah. Chicago Bulls.
Yep, his brother dunked all on Levi. Ooh,
wow. His brother got bounced. His brother went first round MLB draft.
He dunked on Levi in the weirdest way. It was like super polite. Like his feet just grazed his hair.
That's not polite.
No. Realistically, you could have kicked him in the side of the head. That's how much hang time he had. He just went over him.
Yeah.
That's the politest ending that could have possibly been a thing. Patrick McCall. Dang, they all from St. Louis. This makes me feel bad, bro.
I know they are.
We coming back to the city, and we're going to have a training facility, and we're going to train another NBA players. I don't care how we got to do this, but...
Bro, I already got started on that. Trust me.
All right, we're going to see. Patrick McCall, 2017. Ben McLemore, 2014. Jawan Morgan, 2020. Michael Porter, 2020. Otto Porter, 2014. Landry Shamet, 2019. Jason Tatum, 2018.
Yes, sir.
Oliver, 2009.
Bro, Michael Porter Jr. lived in Columbia his whole life until he left. Michael Porter Jr. was in Columbia his entire life, and then he left to go to some school in Washington, I think, and that was like in 2000. He was like a sophomore in high school.
Wait, when?
Like sophomore in high school. Michael Porter Jr. grew up in Columbia, Missouri.
Yeah,
I to MU.
If memory serves correct, Otto Porter played for Scotts County Central. It's a really small school in down here. I think they're like 3A.
No, I'm talking about Michael Porter Jr.
Oh, Michael Porter? Word?
Michael Porter Jr. Yeah, Michael Porter Jr. That's why he went to MU, because he grew up in Columbia.
Okay. Wow.
And hold on. And what about I guess Bobo would be Kansas. Never mind. Bobo would be Kansas.
I think Kansas got some more art players. I think it's like cheating. Like they was born on like the wrong side of the state line. Like you really supposed to be here. That just happened to be like the closest one. That's the closest.
That's true. I mean, no, but Bobo, before he left and went to California, he grew up in all Kansas areas because Manu Bowl lived in Kansas itself. So he wasn't on. He just happy, like he wasn't a person who was born in Kansas, went to school in high school or born in Missouri, went to school in Kansas kind of stuff. Like he actively went to school in Kansas and lived in Kansas his entire life until he went to Mater Day. Is that what it was? Mater Day, prep school, whatever it is.
Mater Day, yeah.
Yeah, until he went to Mater Day. But Kansas don't have that many, because Kansas only got Wichita, Kansas City, Kansas. Like that's it. But in Kansas City or Missouri, you got Kansas City, Missouri, Springfield, and St. Louis. But St. Louis got some names. But St. Louis has always had names, though.
Yeah.
Like
St. Louis got all the names.
St. Louis got a lot of names. Then you got like a few Kansas City ones sprinkled in. But Kansas City definitely has or not Kansas City. St. Louis definitely has all the names, though. I heard a story where Alec Burke played Bradley Beal in the state championship game. And Bradley Beal was only a sophomore. And Bradley Beal gave everybody buckets. Like, he dropped like 40-something points in the state game.
I think you go see that.
My cousin went to go watch it. That's the only reason I know. He was like, Grandview, everybody around here knows each other. So he went to go watch the game in Columbia because it was the halfway point. That's where all the state games were played. And he said Bradley Beal everybody was like, who is this guy? Like, Bradley Beal over here.
What year was it?
What year did Bradley Beal come out of Florida?
Let's see.
Bradley Beal came out of Florida. Let me think.
2013.
2013, yeah. Okay. So that would have been 11? 2011? No, because Alec Burke came out in 2011 from Colorado, right?
Yeah. How long did Bradley Beal stay 2 years?
Bradley stayed 1 year. He's a one and done.
I
remember people saying he shouldn't be one and done, but he became one and done and became Bradley Beal. You know what I mean? Like, everybody who says people, like, there are only very specific scenarios to where a person should stay in college more than 1 year if you're, like, considered to be a one and done player. Like, I remember, Marcus Smart stayed another season. I remember that. Marcus Smart stayed another season. Say again?
I said that didn't make a ton of sense.
Well, he said he wanted to stay another season because he wanted to work on his 3-point shot specifically. He had all the other tools, but then he came back and that's when he hit that fan. So it didn't work out too well for him because after that season, he was known as a guy with a bad attitude and known as a guy who was non-leadership qualities, which is not true. Obviously, if you watch him for in the NBA, you know what I mean? Like it's weird how you will get characterized as something. You being like an NBA player or a college player, right? You get characterized something, and that character is supposed to follow you along as if you aren't 18, 19, and 20 years old. Like, you're young. Like, you're a young person. A male's brain doesn't develop till 26. Like, you're young, and you're gonna do young things. So why should it matter if you are a certain way to an extent, a certain way, and that affects you to go into the league? If it's just like young things, right? So if a fan says something to you and you react to it, or because like let's say DeSosa for KU was actually good enough to make it to the league. Like, he's not, but let's say he is, right? He's not. He's a overseas lifer. That's what he is.
Tariq Black, I get it.
So like, Tariq Black had minutes in the league though. He played for the Lakers and the Rockets, but
Effort, bro. Big body and effort.
Sylvia was more like Cliff Alexander. That's what it is. But let's say he makes it to the league, or he had an opportunity to make it to the league. Should that event that happened this past season with K-State truly affect his chances of getting to the league? Like, it will, but should they?
I personally don't think they do, but you're also talking to the person who kind of throws. If you are good enough and you do something wrong once, I'm okay with giving you a second chance. Like, all right. Like one is
depending on what it is.
You got into a fight.
Yeah.
To me, I like people who gonna fight. We gotta have somebody on the team, because that's the person that's gonna have the energy that's gonna rile everybody up at some point. He's gonna do something.
Yeah, facts.
Like, whether it's in practice or not, he's gonna get something out of you. So I'm having him on the team entire. Like, if you fall, you good with me.
He don't need like a X and O's coach when he gets to the league. Individual like that. The individual needs like a Zen master, Phil Jackson type of coach to like specify that aggression towards like a certain area. You know what I mean? Because like, what's the man? They may have been gone too long. What's the Celtics coach name? I can't remember right now.
Which you talking about?
Brad Stevens.
Brad Stevens. He don't need a Brad Stevens, because Brad Stevens can't control his players. Like, Brad Stevens is not like, when it comes to player personnel.
You need high character dudes.
You know what?
He needs high character dudes, the ones that just gonna follow the rules. Like, that's neat.
High character. Defining people as high character really blows my mind, because like, what does that truly mean? That just means you a kiss ass. That's really what it means. You ready to kiss butt. That's what it means.
I don't know if it's kissing ass. I think it's just you follow the rules. Because you got to remember, like, high character guys that's either quality role players. Like, they don't say LeBron is a high character guy.
Yeah, they do.
Do they?
LeBron would be considered a high character guy.
No, he could be considered a high character guy. How often do you hear people saying that about
describing his head?
Well,
like, I've never watched the game and they be like, that's a high character guy. Like, nobody, that's not in his draft.
Well, I don't think LeBron's a good. I don't think LeBron's a good example, because how often do you hear anybody say anything positive about LeBron? Because like, LeBron is too good. It's too easy to make things. It's too easy to be positive about him. So everybody trying to be different and say something negative about LeBron. Like, no one's gonna call him a high character guy because he's LeBron.
Exactly. It doesn't matter.
Who is a guy in the league that is known as a high character guy right now? Like, off the top of your head.
I don't know.
Malcolm Brogdon, probably, right? Like, he's probably known as a high character guy because he went to school for a while. He's a well-educated, talking guy. Like, my whole thing is this. High character guy. So does high character guy have anything to do with your basketball IQ?
I assumed, like, kind of like Alan said, when you talk about high character, it just kind of means like you don't really get into trouble. Not necessarily that you're everyone's favorite person, but like they don't have to worry about you going out and doing something stupid, which has nothing to do with whether or not you're good at basketball.
That's more of a like, look, I know somebody else might be better, but this person is not gonna be any trouble.
Man, so basically, high character is a lame person, right? So like, J.R. Smith has never gotten into trouble outside of he's never gotten in trouble. J.R. Smith has never gotten in trouble, right? Like, there's never been a story about J.R. Smith over here getting to wild altercations outside the basketball court. Say again?
Except that time where he punched the kid this like a couple months ago.
Do you see what the kid was doing, trying to break the car? Come on now. It don't do matter. You try to break my car? You try to break my car? I'm gonna hit you too. Like, J.R. Smith J.R. Smith big. He a big guy. Like,
he like 6'8".
Yeah. He a NBA basketball player. They in shape. You know what I mean? He might not be playing NBA, but he working out like an NBA player.
It's like he was in the league last year. He's fine, bro.
Bro, like, he's never done anything wild outside of that situation, but like, that's justified. He's never done anything wild. He's not but he wouldn't be considered a high character guy.
Very true.
So like, is it like a?
It's cold. It's cold. we know it's cold.
It's cold. Use a good, bro. Use a good one. Like, it's really cold. Like, you're right. Ugh.
I know what the label means. Okay, it's weird.
I'm never gonna say somebody's high character ever in my life because it's obviously code. Ugh, I don't like that. Let's not talk about high character people. Like, I don't want to put nobody in a good. My bad, Malcolm Brogdon. I'm not trying to put you in the good box. So I'm gonna retract that high character kind of status I gave you. Nah, my bad. I'm not gonna do that. My bad.
High character. I feel like this is a high character podcast.
Oh yeah, listen. We are my bad. I kind of really got into that for a second. We are some high character Negroes. We would be considered high character though. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, if we were going to the league, if we had the talent, my bad. If you two had the talent to go into the league, we would all be considered high character Negroes.
All right. I'm gonna tell you why. If I was wildly talented, Philip,
what do you say? What do you say?
You know me. When I really feel good about something, I'm not humble. Let me bust your ass in basketball. You're not gonna hear it. I'm gonna talk wet to you. You mean to tell me I am elite? Nah, I'm an asshole.
Victor Oladipo is that exact same way, and he would be considered high character.
Victor Oladipo also went to Indiana for several years. I'm not going to Indiana. I'm not going to Indiana. If I'm one and done right now, I'm going somewhere where a coach will let me play.
FAMU.
FAMU. I'm not going to FAM.
Okay, never mind. Alan said no athlete should go to HBCU.
No. I'm not going to FAM because FAM is really bad, and I do not like the way I don't like the way they're coached. It might be better now, but their coaching carousel is way too like off. Like, every 2 years you get a new coach. Nah, because I know I can do whatever I want to do here, which that might be the year that you try to coach really hard. Not gonna work for me, bro.
Okay, let's say you're a top 10 player in the country right now, right? But like, at this moment, you in your mind are wanting to go to HBCU. What HBCU do you go to? Because me, personally, I think I would probably try to go to a place, either Hampton. I'm thinking Hampton. Hampton has a good basketball program. They make it to the big dance, the NCAA tournament, fairly often. It's not out of the wild that they make it there. I go there. Norfolk, I'd go there. They've made it to the NCAA tournament before. They beat University of Missouri as like a 16.
I remember that.
Yeah, what's his name? Quentin.
Kyle O'Quinn.
Kyle O'Quinn. Yeah, he went off.
I think he's on the Knicks now.
Yeah, he's been in the league. He's been in the league ever since.
Yeah.
Like he's nice.
Yeah.
Well, nice enough to be in the league.
That sounds
So
okay.
I would go to Hampton, Norfolk, or I would shift it all the way up and go to a place down south, Southern, Grambling. I would go. I wouldn't go to Jackson. If you played basketball in the gym like I have, you would not want to go to Jackson. But I would say Grambling or Southern is one of the ones I go to, just for the culture reasons, right? It's down south, culture is just going to be a little bit different.
I'd probably go to North Carolina A&T.
That's a good one. That's a good one. That's a real good one. North Carolina A&T.
Like,
I went for their homecomings.
Because like, even if like I don't know for whatever reason the basketball team isn't like I haven't kept up with the basketball team, but even if the basketball team isn't that great or is only like okay, like you're still gonna be around a lot of other like high level athletes because they have one of the best like track teams in the country, and they have a really good football team. So like, yeah.
I think you could do. I think you could say the same thing. Like if you had those reasons, I think you could say the same thing about Texas Southern down there in the Houston area. Like I feel like you could say the same thing about that school also. Their team might not be great. Their team's not bad by any means, but they might not be like fantastic. They might be like a little wishy-washy 500, whatever it is. But the culture about being around other good athletes, Texas A&M or Texas Southern's women's team is generally good. Their track team, Prairie View is around that area also. So like in Prairie View's track team is always widely good, and Prairie View has a lot of good athletic culture, I would say. So yeah, but North Carolina A&T is fire though. I'm gonna lie. North Carolina is a fire state. People don't realize you've been there, but it's a fire state though.
Yeah. Yeah, I got to go with Calvin. It's either MCAT, North Carolina Central, or Texas Southern. Can you guess why?
I mean, I think Jeopardy. I have no idea.
It's going to be good weather all damn year.
Facts.
I'm not going to hoop anywhere it's cold.
That's
I know.
Smart.
Yeah, and I have to walk that 1 year on campus.
Have you been to Texas Southern's campus?
No.
Trash. So like, because I got accepted there. Like I applied, I got accepted there, whatever it is. It's right in the middle of Houston, but their infrastructure, like the architecture of the school, is very bland. It's very boxish. You know what I mean? Like there's no like style or finesse to how the school looks. It's very boring. I'm not gonna lie to you. So like when they're like, "Oh, you got accepted," I was like, "Oh, I got accepted." You know what I mean? But like North Carolina A&T, I heard it's like a dope school though. Like I heard it's like a legit, like the way it looks, the atmosphere. I heard it's like a dope school. I've been to Hampton, and Hampton and Norfolk are up there as the two nicest HBCUs I've ever seen. Like Norfolk is super nice. Just no one's ever gone there because kind of off to the left a little bit, but like it's super nice, and they're both Division One. But like, would you consider going to a non-Division One?
No.
As a top athlete, no.
ESPN top 100.
No.
But there's been people who made it to the NBA that weren't from Division Ones.
Yeah, but they also were top players coming out of their high school class.
So what about? But like some of these Division II schools or whatever it is, they play Division I schools, especially the HBCUs. They play Division I schools to just get a quick paycheck from that big school. You know what I mean? So what if all of a sudden you over here at Morehouse? Let's say Morehouse, right? Morehouse, Clark Atlanta. You over here at one of those schools. You over here got that whole culture. Well, I don't know about the Morehouse culture. They think they wear uniforms. But you say Clark Atlanta. You're Clark Atlanta. Clark Atlanta's coach, at least 3 years ago, was a former NBA player. Like, he played basketball. He's got connects, so on and so forth. All of a sudden, you play, I don't know, what's the big University of Atlanta? No. I was like, what's the
Georgia?
My bad. I was like, what's the big PWI around there? So you're for Georgia, right? All of a sudden you go there and you bust, you kill them, you going crazy, you get that dub. All of a sudden, you have them put another HBCU on the map. More kids go there. They go from Division 1, Division 2, all because of you.
You're asking for too much. It doesn't. 1 year, no. I'm gonna tell you why. 1 year of success does not mean like you almost have to do some unworldly stuff. Like the last couple schools that we can like actively think of where like enrollment changed because that happened is like I think Loyola of Chicago.
Loyola Chicago, yeah.
Like that was the last
Gonzaga,
where like it actually like changed something. And now look, like it happened for 1 year. Like more people came in. They ain't get better.
I get that.
You got a dude coming there named Baylor Heat, super cold.
I get that, but I'm just giving HBCUs a little bit more, like, you know what I mean? A little like, well, that might have happened on Loyola, but then like in a couple years, people gonna forget that school even exists. If I'm being perfectly honest with you, but black people, like a lot of people don't know where Norfolk is, but Norfolk beat Missouri. All of a sudden, black people specifically, they know about Norfolk. You know what I mean? Like, especially you watch basketball kind of area. So I'm not sure if I'm hoping that like an HBCU or a black person go to HBCU, the effect would be a bit different. But that might just be me being optimistic.
I mean, like theoretically, assuming like everything pans out. What's his name? Maker, like committed to Howard. Like, it would. You clearly have skepticism like Alan does, but regardless, like assuming like that, like actually the season and he went there and played, they'd be like a real life version of this thought experiment that we're currently running.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna need Howard to stop getting all the donations, including athletes. But continue.
No. That's all I had to say. But
oh, I know. I'm just saying, like Howard and Morehouse get all the donations from everybody. I'm gonna need these people to figure out that other HBCUs exist. So like, especially these other athletes. You know what I mean? Because like, if you look at, I don't want to get into the history of how Howard played. If you get into the history of Howard's HBCU status was real iffy. So the rest of us exist as well. I'm not saying I go to Fisk because Fisk has their own issues, but like, you know, Tennessee State's cool. And okay. Anyways, do you think this fad of not big time, but top 100 ESPN athletes going to HBCUs is gonna continue on?
Yeah, we probably got like 2-3 more years where we can get at least one. And if they're not top 100, there'll be like some top 150 kids that definitely go.
So wait, what's that one kid's name? Mikey?
Yeah, he's 2023. Don't even worry about him. What's up, Calvin?
I feel like, and maybe this is just a me thing, and like maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like for the most part, if that trend continues, it's probably more likely to happen with football. Like,
it's a lot more people. You're right.
More people, and like our football programs are collectively better than the basketball program. So
yeah, historically it's been the case too. So like when that person was like when ESPN and all kind of stuff, where we're saying like this is the first person of this stature to go to an HBCU, they had to specifically make it basketball. Some didn't, which was just false information. But the ones that made specifically basketball, that was right. But historically, like before, what year was this? It was 1964. Before 1964, which most black athletes that went to the NFL, when I say most, I mean high percentage, and most, it's like 90-some%, were from HBCUs. And then
Black people, right? Like most Division I universities weren't really like trying to field.
No,
Like,
yeah,
Wasn't
that's very
that like
true.
one of the biggest issues too?
Yeah, but then the Kansas City Chiefs were the first team that had a strong black presence on their team, go on to win the Super Bowl. So what did every other team in the NFL do? They follow that lead, that trend. All of a sudden, because if you look at like the football cards or the bios of most of the Chiefs players that are black that went to the NFL or went to the championship when they were won, they were all from HBCUs. So then all other NFL teams followed that trend. All of a sudden, that trickled down to the college. So all of a sudden, college was like, oh, we can make more money. It's capitalist propaganda. That's all it was. Capitalist propaganda. All of a sudden, the black kids were like, oh, we can go to. It was essentially a lot of it. Unfortunately, was the water must taste better over there kind of mindset. So they ended up going from HBCUs to PWIs because they thought it offered them more opportunities as well, which in some cases it did, but not as many cases as an 18-year-old in 1968 would have thought. You know what I mean? It's a really good book called $40 Million Slave that talks about this whole entire process. But yeah, so that was like for football historically, like the number one winning coach in football history after the scandal with what's his name? Penn State dude, not Sandusky, but what's his name? Sandusky actually touched the boys. Who was the head coach?
Paterno.
Yeah,
Patino was basketball.
he was the all-time winningest coach, but then he allowed his assistant coach to touch the little boys, so a lot of his wins were taken away. So rightfully placed, the all-time winningest coach in college football history was Eddie Griffith in Grambling State, and that's he got a statue down there. He got a whole museum for himself down there, all kind of stuff. He's a big-time guy. But unfortunately, a lot of people don't know who he is mainstream-wise because everybody, once again, has been so infatuated for college football all the time with the PWI. So, Calvin, you're probably going to be right because even right now, there's HBCU people on NFL teams currently, right? Like it's still that's not an anomaly. It's like a fairly common thing, especially with the football being the way it is and the rosters and so on and so forth. I remember when I was at Grambling State in 2012, 2013, a guy from Grambling State was a rookie for the New York Giants. It's a common thing. So I do suspect that to become even more common, for sure. Hopefully it doesn't only stick to football though. Hopefully basketball, but also hopefully volleyball. Cheerleading, baseball. Because my biggest pet peeve for HBCUs, easily, is seeing HBCUs with baseball teams where the baseball team is all white. That is my biggest pet peeve, and it bothers me to my core. Because Grambling was like that when I was there. But when I played at Fisk will play like Ruston and Mississippi. And we would play different HBCUs around, right? The NAIA HBCUs. But that wouldn't be the case for the NAIA HBCUs. That wouldn't be the case. But once you got to Division I, I don't know about Division II. Once you're at Division I, all of a sudden, majority white. I'm like, this hurts.
Is that a talent thing, though?
Is it what?
Is that like a talent thing? Like, are they trying to be competitive at like that level? But that would just mean that all the other kids that didn't go to PWIs are just kind of like Division II or below, which is kind of hard to.
How you look at it. I think it's how you look at it, right? Is the recruiter for the baseball team of the HBCU Division I school, right? Is that recruiter looking? Is he using the players? Is he looking for the players, or the players coming to him? So if this white kid's like, oh, I can't get to Vanderbilt. I can't get into Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt doesn't want me, kind of stuff. Looks like I'm going to Tennessee State. Like it probably depends on which side it is from which perspective, right? But for a lot of but I do know that to be the case sometimes. I'm not gonna go out of my way and say most times or all the time, obviously, right? But I do know that for that to be the case enough times. But it is up to the HBCU and the recruiter and the head coach. Some of them got to go out of their way to go to inner cities and go to black communities and, you know, and find these talents, right? Because there's RBI baseball all over the country. Rebuilding baseball inner city. That's all it is. Kansas City has one. Baltimore has one. Different cities in Texas have one. They're all over the country. It's a national brand. New York has one. Black players and Latino players that are the high majority in those leagues, right? Are these schools going out of the way to go to those areas, or are they going to just go to these are they going to these national batting titles and, you know, AAA where essentially it's not even the best talent, it's whose parents are willing to spend the most money. That's really what it is, because baseball has turned into a rich man's sport, right? So like when my dad was coming up, and probably your parents, they play baseball, grandparents, all they needed was a stick and a ball or whatever. Not, you know, we've all heard the stories, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's not the case anymore, because you're like, the white man. I don't want to say it, but it's true. The white man has established baseball as its sport. They're trying to establish baseball as a country club sport, right? A more expensive sport. So instead of just a stick and a ball, you need an aluminum bat. But you can't just have an aluminum bat. You gotta have a certain brand of aluminum bat. You can't have plastic. You have to have plastic or metal cleats depending on which league you're in. You gotta have a certain kind of. It makes it too specific, so it locks out a certain demographic in a certain economic demographic, which in America, unfortunately, is going to be people of color. You know what I mean? So like that a baseball recruiter specifically for like Grambling or Florida A&M or North Carolina A&T needs to go out of their way to go to those other communities who also have crazy talent, but sometimes, unfortunately, also are being pushed towards basketball and football instead of other sports. You know what I mean? Who that they can run rampant in.
All right. Well, I think that is a good closing point, because we're talking about baseball now. We clearly off in the weeds. So let's go ahead and get out of here.
Oh, man. I didn't realize we've been on there for an hour and 33 minutes. I think I talked probably too much. But my name is Philip Dixon. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter and TikTok at Philip Dixon. TikTok is PG_anecdotes, but that will soon change to Philip Dixon because I am my own brand. So let's get it. That's what it is.
All right, y'all. I'm Calvin McGowan, and I've been avoiding social media, so I'm not even gonna bother with it right now.
Respect that. Respect that.
Alan Pettigrew signing out. You can find me at all the socials. Alan Pettigrew. For what? Don't worry about my hands, yo.
What?
Worry about yourself.
Alan don't know what you're laughing at, Calvin. Alan has no idea what you're laughing at, Calvin.
You said what? I have no idea what happened.
You don't even worry about it. No.
You talking about the light?
God. No. This has nothing to do with you.
I hate y'all so much. Y'all stressing me out. Anyway, Twitter, Alan Pettigrew, Google me.